Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of the Smart Flip with me and Matt. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about the buyback funnel, how I discovered the best lead sources, and we're going to be jumping into that. For those of you who don't know who we are, my name is Chris Roeder. This is Matt Shirley. He's the console
Hey,
king. We run a program called Recelerator, where we help people start, grow, and scale their phone flipping businesses and turn them into buyback businesses, which ultimately, helps them make more money, live the life they want, stuff like that. With that being said, I do have a book called Tech Flips to Profit. You can find it on episode 11 of the podcast for free, or you can download the PDF version. And all of that good stuff. And then we have a bunch of resources and stuff below in YouTube and on Spotify and all of that stuff. So with that being said, we're gonna tap in. So, guys, today we're gonna be talking about the buyback funnel. Or this is what I'm calling it now. It used to be called mostly the core four, but I feel like it's better termed as more of a funnel, funneling leads in, right? So,
yeah.
how I discovered the best lead sources. So most people in this business specifically, especially in the beginning, only rely on one source for leads, meaning meaning they only like that can be Facebook Marketplace, it can be Facebook, it can be Instagram, it can be multiple, it can just be random. Like I've seen that. So, but one thing that like people don't realize is like one change in the algorithm or something in their business can change overnight or something or the plug that you currently have could
Mhm.
disappear. And then bam, your business comes to a screeching halt, right? So I've seen this many, many times, and I always tell people, I'm like, look, you need multiple lead sources all the time because if one goes down, the others can kind of hold it up. It's like having a chair, right? That has all four legs. If you only have three legs, right, it'll still stand up. If it only has two legs, probably not, right? But if you only have one, it's definitely not standing up. So if you add more legs, imagine a chair with eight legs, you know, pretty sure it's going to stay up, right? So I want to walk you guys through the moment my business almost died from this, okay, not having a buyback funnel. So I'll never forget logging into Facebook Marketplace one morning. This was something that I had never seen before. Your listing violates our policies. So back then, guys, we were doing Craigslist, we were doing Facebook Marketplace ads, right? This is back in 2016, 2017 days. Matt remembers those days.
I do.
I remember, guys, my heart dropped. I built my entire flipping business on Marketplace using ads. Seeing that notice felt like somebody pulling the rug out from under me.
Oh,
Instantly, my inbox was silent, my leads dried up, and my entire business felt like it was on life support. So I had to figure something else out
mm,
fast.
yeah.
Um, this is one of the terrifying moments that birthed the buyback funnel. A system that basically guarantees that I'd never depend on a single lead source ever again. Now, what's crazy is like when people logged in, like it didn't happen just to me. This happened throughout phone flippers and people like that.
Mhm.
A lot of them just gave up on the business. Funny enough, like
That's true. Yeah, that is true.
I mean, you remember those days? Like as soon as they figured out that they couldn't get leads for free, like they just up and left, man.
Yeah. No one wanted to pay to play. That's for sure.
So, um, So, talking about the buyback funnel, there's a couple core pieces to the buyback funnel that I want to talk about. And we're going to jump into talking Matt's wheelhouse here. Reach outs,
Yeah.
going from passive to aggressive. So, I used to think leads really only came from ads, like qualified leads, post, wait, all of that.
Right.
It changed when my student turned coach, Matt, here um, showed me his sniping method for flipping game consoles. Matt systematically targets specific deals on
Yes.
Marketplace, and he's actually trained the algorithm actually
Mhm.
in a way for on Marketplace where it just shows him the best deals all the time. Around this same time, though, I was listening to Hormozy a lot, Alex Hormozy. and he talked about gym launch, and he talked about how half of his multi-million-dollar business with gym launch came from outbound messaging. So he said, but he one of his quotes is like, "Waiting for leads is gambling. Reaching out directly is how you print money." I
Hey.
was like, okay. So I actually put a couple of Matt's processes into action. I picked up a Nintendo Switch, and then an Oculus Quest, and then soon after that, I actually bought my very first Valve Index. So it works. I remember literally thinking to myself, I'm like, why haven't I been doing this? Like, it was like I felt dumb.
It's
Um,
money. Money, it's out
yeah,
there.
for real. Like, if you know what you're doing, it's money,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
if you don't know what you're doing and you're just sending like, "Hi, is it still available?"
Right.
You're not doing it right, right? So,
Fair.
yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about that? I know I
Sure.
had you come in and kind of teach the students and stuff, and
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Well, I think a lot of people just expect, first of all, there's two ditches within this process. There's people that think that there's, obviously like no stuff out there and the market's saturated or everybody wants full price for their stuff. And that's not true. And then there's people that think that every deal that they're going to go look for because maybe they watched me on like a video or something, it's just, oh my gosh, I'm just out here picking up money like blades of grass. And that's not necessarily true either. Um, if you are a discretionary individual and you know what you need to find and you can shrewdly look for those things, then yeah, those deals are out there way more than most people think. Way, way, way more. I was looking at a zip code yesterday for a new student in Console Kings, and I was about to switch over to my zip code, and I was like, oh man, I saw these four quick deals literally above the fold of the page. Let me send them your way. They're almost each in a different category of like electronic in a manner of speaking. One was a VR, one was a console, one was an under the radar flip. We know about those. And then like another one was like just some item that looked like it was a good deal. And I ended up not sending it to them because I think it was broken. Um, Now broken's good, but this was like really, really broken, and I didn't want to overwhelm them being new. So the thing people got to be aware of is when you have the right framework and boundary to color within, and you know exactly what colors you're supposed to use, you can find deals on reach outs all the time. And so I think my contribution to helping Chris or helping students in Recelerator was I brought such a plethora of things to the table. It says, okay, well, what if I only have one bullet right now called reach out and I'm new to reselling? Well, if I can learn a large variety of things, I still have a lot of bullets.
yeah,
Um, and that makes it really simple. And so, within our course on our price sheets, we have over 70 different items, within the realm of consoles and VR systems, and also some under the radar flips, which are just one-off electronics that people probably aren't looking for that are still valuable. And so I think total it's probably somewhere to like close to like 90 different things. And um, you
yeah.
can find a lot of stuff on an online marketplace like Facebook, OfferUp, or Craigslist when you know what to look for and you know the right price points. And so it really is a very powerful thing. Now, let me parlay that back into our conversation here together, where it's like, okay, cool, think of that as just being like one leg of your stool, like Chris was saying, right? That's really powerful because if you want to, let's say you're just bored and you want to flip something, just go online and find it,
Yep.
right? And keep looking till you find something. And that was my goal, to find something till I could make 50 to 100 bucks whenever I wanted. Um, but now you got Chris Schroeder over here who brings ads to the scene, right? Who also brings, I think, some automated methods to the scene and systematizing this process, helping our students to build out a system that ultimately I don't feel like people can lose. It's just win a
You can
lot.
only lose if they don't do anything, right?
That's fair. Yeah. Don't take
Um,
action, you always lose.
I mean, I like to on the webinars we do. I always say that Matt literally would like removed the blinders from my eyes, right? Um, And that is what happened because I didn't know I had bought more than just an iPhone and stuff before, like, but it was always from ads. But I also didn't know how many different opportunities there were. And that's not saying you have to take all of the opportunities and all the items. Like you pick the ones that
Yeah.
you know like choose. I'm down to like 4 to 6 items that I mostly flip.
Yep.
Um, but I know what I'm looking for now when I go into the market. Like the first thing I look for is a valve index almost every day. Like because I know that that's the highest profit item that I'm going to flip by far, you know? And when you're constantly on, like a lot of you guys don't even know what that is, you know? Um,
Fair.
so like I was talking to a guy this past week who he'll be on the podcast eventually. Um,
Awesome.
but he does a lot of back end stuff for some very large buyback companies. And I was like, "Do you know what a valve index is?" And he's like, "No, what the heck is that?" I'm like this guy, helps a lot of people.
Yeah.
He had no idea what it was. By the end of the day, by the end of the call, he knew what it was. So
Right. Yeah, you did.
he's like, "What?" Like, yeah, dude, this thing is we make crazy profits off this thing all the time.
I love it.
And you know, I mean, Matt has this three ping method. I ended up creating my own kind of script. That's
Uh-huh.
more copy and paste for me. Uh,
Uh-huh.
for those of you that are aware, probably, it's hey, I run a business in the area that buys used and damaged electronics. If
Hmm.
I were able to pay cash today, would you take a lower price? Very simple, but that one simple message will skyrocket your response rate
Yeah.
because most people are just like either number one sending a number as an offer or um, they're just saying hi, is it still available and looking like everybody else.
The
So
thing I really like about that, Chris, is essentially it's a more professional way of saying like, hi, I buy things and I want to put cash in your hands. Bring
yeah,
more stuff to the table so I can put cash in your hands. And so, like you've said before, you're selling the person on the idea of giving them cash,
yeah,
which when people find out that you're professional and that you buy all this stuff, um, I think some people kind of get caught in the weeds of wanting to negotiate the perfect price on that one item. But and maybe conversationally this has like emerged before, but when you start asking people for multiple things, it seems like they very easily lose that scarcity mentality. They let go of that one specific thing they've got like
yeah,
absolutely wrenched in their fist, and now the world's your oyster. You can buy, four or five things. And I know you have done. You've been in
yeah,
Starbucks before buying three, four items from a person that started with maybe a phone.
yeah. Happens all the time. You just got to
Right.
ask the question. I call it the upsell sandwich, right?
Yeah.
Like you hit them first, let them know everything you buy, and then you hit them at the end after you close them. Be like, what else you got? You know, like
Yeah.
like you're. I call it the greatest offer in the world. Like we're giving people money. Like, how do you say no? Like I mean, of course there are going to be people that say no, but like if you insistently or just keep reaching out and you're like, can I give you money? Can I give you money?
Mhm.
Can I give you more money? You know, like
Yeah.
people eventually, you just got to talk to enough people, and a lot of the people will take that. All right, so moving on to the next one is Facebook ads or social media ads. So initially, guys, I was terrified of Facebook ads. I thought I was going to burn money, because I didn't really know what I was doing. Um, at first, I did. I remember David launched a small course on Facebook ads, and I got it and everything. Started incorporating it. Didn't listen, obviously. Um, I mean, of course, his what he didn't fully understand all of it yet either. But
It's fair.
um, at first, guys, I did burn money. I'll be real. My ads were too polished, too professional, too corporate. And ironically, I discovered the uglier the ads are and the more simple they are, the better. People didn't like professional; they wanted human. So, um, nobody explicit now. There's a second part to Facebook ads. There's number one, generating the lead, right? Getting somebody to actually respond to your ad, and this goes for Facebook and Instagram. Um, but nobody explicitly taught me how to follow up. To me, it seemed obvious. So, because guys, when you're running Facebook ads, it's called what I like to call interruption marketing. You're
Mhm.
interrupting somebody's news feed every three or so posts in Facebook. Same thing with Instagram, right?
Mhm.
Um, you're interrupting their news feed. They're not looking for you. They're not searching for you. They just like, oh wow, I can sell my phone. Cool. Boom.
Yep.
Clicks, sends message, right? It is your job to follow up with those people. They're not looking for you. Remember that. They're
Mhm.
not going to remember you. Most of the like, think about it. We're in the TikTok generation. 3 seconds, bam, off to something else,
Hmm.
right? It is
Yep.
literally our job as the business owner to follow up with these people. And most of you, so I got a quick story. So I helped somebody launch their Facebook ads last week, right? We have a little, this may or may not be available when you're watching this. This is something I was trying out. Um, I launched somebody's Facebook ads for 150 bucks, one-time fee, because we can do it stupid easily now.
Hmm.
Once again, may or may not be available. It was something I was testing out.
Hmm.
You can reach out and ask me. But
Hmm.
I launched his ads. He got some leads coming in. And he's like, dude, I can't close any of these leads. And I was like, he's like, they're all bad. And I was like, so I popped in and I was like looking through iPhone 13 Pro, iPhone 13 Pro Max, iPhone 14, Samsung Galaxy S or FE 12. It's one of those crappy phones. And I'm looking through these leads and I'm like, bro, not all of these are crappy leads. But one thing I'm noticing over and over and over again is half of them weren't even responded to. And I was just like, so what do I do? Bro, I just start going through and messaging him without his permission. And I closed well, he was also asking too many questions was number one. Like he was going through
Right. Of course he
what
was.
phone is it? What's wrong with it? What carrier is it with? What's the battery health percentage? Blah 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 blah.
What's
All
your
these
blood
questions.
type? Yep.
Yeah, and obviously the customer is like, screw you. Like this is too many questions. Um, So I went through and I saw there was an iPhone 13 that he hadn't responded to. They were like, I have an iPhone 13. I'm like, great. We've been we've been paying $120 for the iPhone 13. And the person was like, and the back is also cracked. I'm like, all right, well, we've been paying up $50 for the iPhone 13 with a cracked back. And the person was like, great, where do I go? Respond. Like,
Mm.
answer your leads. You
Yeah.
So this is a common theme that I see whenever people say the leads are garbage. An
Hmm.
iPhone 13 is not a garbage lead, especially if you're getting it for 50 bucks, you know?
Yeah.
So, um that's a common theme that I see with Facebook ads and I just had to go on a little rant there.
Yeah.
Talk to your leads. Follow up with your leads. If you
Yep.
don't follow up, you will burn money. 100%.
Rant valid.
Yeah. So, Facebook is interruption marketing. They're not looking for you. It's your job to follow up. And if you don't, then burn your money. Um,
Huh.
but yeah, Facebook ads are not broken. Um, people's follow up is now the closing rate on Facebook ads is more like 1 out of 10. Just gonna be real. It's higher than reach outs though. Reach outs is like 1 to 3 out of 100. Facebook is 1 out of 10. So 10% closing rate, 10 to 15% is not terrible, right?
Yeah. It's true.
So, um,
And, and to that similar note, guys, like I cherry pick the items that I do reach outs on. Most of the guys in our group, or women as well, because we do have female flippers.
yep.
Shouts out to all the female flippers out there. But a lot of guys, they just adopt a method where they just reach out to everybody, right? They throw all the opportunities out there. That's not how I approach this. So my close rate is probably about 2 out of every 5, um, which is quite high. But again, I'm cherry picking. So for those of you that hear this and you're like, man, I'm just going to go out right now and like, okay, well, statistically speaking, if you're just doing it in that method, you're probably going to get the same level of success that Chris is talking about. Just want to be realistic with you folks out there.
Yeah. I want to lower your expectations so that we can deliver higher whenever you order those. So
Yeah,
that's usually how it works.
that's
Under
right.
promise and over deliver, right? So,
Indeed, indeed. Yes.
so the next one, guys, is Google My Business or Google Business Profile, whatever you want to call it now. This was like an accidental gold mine for me. Um, so Google Business, for me, was more of a basic box to check off. Um, in the beginning. This is back when I was in Beaumont, Texas. I was just like, well, I should probably get on Yelp and Google My Business and these other platforms. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, what's crazy is my phone started ringing nonstop due to that. And I quickly realized that these leads were uniquely powerful. Number one, they didn't need convincing. Number two, they weren't shopping around. They needed to sell quick. And number three, all they cared about was getting a better deal in Eco ATM.
Mm.
Um, So early on, I incentivized reviews by actually paying sellers an extra $5. Eventually, I streamlined this to literally taking their phone and writing the review myself. Something I teach in my program. That way, I can carefully pack it with keywords, which drastically boosted my visibility whenever it came to people searching. Um, one memorable lead that I remember specifically, who had been driving around town and here in Houston actually, was trying to sell a Samsung phone. When he found me, he was like, "Do you buy Samsungs?" He's like, "Thank God." He's like, "I've been driving around and I'm trying to find a repair shop or some sort of shop to buy Samsungs, and all I want is iPhones." But
Okay.
he reached out to me, and I made like $200 in profit on that,
Incredible.
all because I answered the phone, number one, and I wasn't rude, and I bought more than an iPhone. So that goes back to the diversification that I always talk about. If you buy more than an iPhone, you will make more money.
Yeah.
But just guys, remember Google My Business leads. They're ready to close. Just don't mess it up. Um, the next one is Google Ads. Google Ads and Google My Business are separate. All right. So this is important to know. They're two different things. You can set them up separately. Um, my first 2 years with Google Ads was incredibly painful. I remember talking to Dave, my mentor, and him. I told him I was like, I'm going to figure Google Ads out. And guys, it was constant account suspensions. Um, Complicated websites with ineffective auto quote generators, and like I built all of that myself too. Like I went through 4 different website iterations.
Oh, barf.
Zero profitable deals despite burning a
Mm,
bunch of money.
mm,
Honestly, it wasn't even like zero deals. It was like zero leads because I didn't know what I was doing. And I
yeah.
was trying to figure it out. And I actually went to a mastermind that I paid $24,000 to be in.
And it
And
was in real estate, right?
yeah, the dude was doing real estate. Um, and I asked him, I was like, "Do you do Google Ads for real estate?" And he's like, "Yeah, absolutely." I was like, "Okay, so can you like help me figure out what I'm doing wrong here?" Um, and he was like, "Oh yeah, dude, you're just like you're hitting all of the wrong headlines and you're getting suspended because you're pretending to be another business." And I was
Mm.
like, "Oh." And then and so I fixed it and my account stopped getting suspended. Um, So what happened next though was like I got that part fixed. The next part was actually the website. So the first website I tried was super professional and all of that. Um, and whatever. Didn't work. I had a guy reach out literally because I had a little chat bot thing embedded on the website that people could hit me on Messenger with. And the guy was like, "Can you just give me a price? Like, I don't really want to go through all these steps and
Yeah.
like be told the wrong price." And I was like, yeah, sure. And then I realized, like, in that moment, I was like, this is probably what most people are thinking. They're just not messaging me about it. So after knowing that, I was like, let me go build a just like stupid, simple website that literally says sell a device, plug in a few pieces of information, and see what happens. Guys, that website now converts at like 42%, which
Nice.
means which means 42 out of 100 people fill it out. It's good, really good. So yeah, simplicity, complexity confuses customers. Simplicity always converts.
Yeah.
Like the more simple you are, the more human you look. Um, that's how it is, right?
Yeah. I think there should be something said there that trust is huge when it comes to simplicity, guys. You make things too complex, people think you're hiding something.
Yeah,
People think you're taking advantage of them. Like, think about yourself in a customer experience. Do you like to be on the end of like shrouded in mystery, unclear of expectations? Like all that stuff is just going to tank customer experience and opportunities.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So a couple other pieces of the buyback funnel. We've gone through 4 of them now. The next one is so there's 2 of them actually, and I kind of categorize them to the same, but they are 2 different places. Pawn shops is number one.
Hey,
Um, Matt, you recently picked up some deals from some pawn shops, right?
I did. Mhm.
How'd that go?
Doing great.
Were they happy
Um,
to sell to you?
they were. I bought what, like over almost $500 in product from them. Which for me was pretty inexpensive, but for them, I think they still made some profit. They didn't make a ton, but they definitely got rid of inventory and, reinforced their bottom line, made a little bit of profit, and I walked away with a lot of bit of profit. I bought a gaming tablet, like a handheld PC console called an Asus ROG Ally, and it was a Z1 Extreme. And then I bought an iMac 27-inch 5K Retina display computer, and I didn't pay a ton for them. Maybe for some people would consider a lot of money, but I didn't pay a ton for them. And the tablet is already sold. I only listed the computer 2 days ago, so I think it'll sell over the weekend.
So I want to point something out. You used like three different parts of the recelerator process there, right? Number
Mhm.
one, you knew how to buy more than a phone, which gave you massive leverage, right?
Yeah, truly.
You were able to negotiate
Uh-huh.
based on the offers that you could make. And
Yep.
then you used the lead source, which was the pawn shop.
Yep.
So without
Booyah.
those three pieces, you probably wouldn't have been able to do that. And
No.
this stuff happens every day inside of Recelerator too, guys. Like
Yeah.
Spencer has been killing it with pawn shops lately.
Yeah, he has. It's starting to get a little ridiculous at this point. It's like he also just sent in like 5 or 6, I think, PS4s to like a larger kind of direct buyer that I clued everybody in on
Oh
in the
yeah,
group. Oh yeah, for sure.
I
And
think I saw something about that, but I didn't tap into it very much.
yeah, we were talking about it a few console calls ago, guys. We do a console call every Tuesday, and I talk to people about the state of the market and where's ways to make money. To the point of what Chris was talking about, Spencer Berg, who was on the call last week. If you guys watched the interview, well, was it last week or the week before? I think it was two
So
weeks
he
ago.
sent them in.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
he sent
don't
them
give away
in.
the company on the call, obviously, but
No, no, of course not. We gotta guard a few things here. I mean, we can't give you guys all the special sauce, but yeah, I mean, I've tested them as well, and I've already gotten paid direct debit,
wow.
and he's
Okay.
going to get paid this coming week, and I'm excited to see what this does.
Yeah, that's great. Oh man, we're gonna have to. We'll
Yep.
talk a little bit more about that after this. That way we
Mhm.
can. If you guys want to stay ahead of the market, hello, Recelerator is the way. Um, cool. So the next one that I want to talk about is actually repair shops.
Yeah.
Guys, for those of you who aren't aware, most repair shops do not buy phones or most electronics, actually. So I've spoken at the Gadget Repair Expo twice now. I'm going to be speaking there in about 2.5 weeks again, telling these repair shops that they need to do more buybacks. But I don't think they're going to listen to me anyway. They never seem to do because I don't own a shop. But yet,
Right.
me and my students make a lot more than most of them, which is kind of funny. Um, but well, it is what it is. Anyway, a lot of these repair shops don't buy phones, and therefore, and I found that it's due to they don't have the enough capital to actually do it.
Yeah.
Um, and that's fine. But what I found is a lot of these repair shops will actually send deals to you. Same thing with the pawn shops. Like if you leave your business card there, they will usually keep it.
Yeah.
And a lot of pawn shops actually don't buy phones either, but they will send you deals all the time if you leave your cards,
Yep.
which is what I do. So pawn shops and repair shops, guys, add them in because they are very good lead sources for sending you qualified leads. Because these people are looking to sell immediately and they're going to a pawn shop where they know they're going to get lowballed, right?
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
then the last two that I want to talk about as part of the buyback funnel is, well, the first one I want to talk about is repeats. Repeats are always part of the buyback funnel. They're always going in and out of it, right? I always tell our students, like, you need to be aiming. Well, I want to define what a repeat customer is first. A repeat customer is somebody that has sold to you more than twice. Okay. So, like they came back one time and then they came back a second time, and then you want to reach out to them. You want to be proactive with repeat customers because the more proactive you are about giving people money, the more likely they are to take it. Being real.
Mhm.
You want to look like an ATM to these people, right? Um, so with repeat customers, I tell my students to aim for 500 to $1,000 in profit per repeat customer per year, right? If
Hmm.
you do that, think about this. If you got like 30 repeat customers, over the course of, I don't know, 6 months to a year, and you're
Hmm.
making, let's say, $500 a year, which is, like 5 devices, 6 devices, um, isn't a lot. But if you're making 500 to $1,000 per repeat customer per year, and you got 30 of them,
Yeah.
you know, what is that? 500 times 30, what is that?
1,500.
15,
Oh, wait.
15,000.
15,000. Excuse me.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
$15,000 in guaranteed income per year, right?
Yeah.
That's not bad, you know? So, on top of that, adding on, and this is the eighth one, uh, is referrals. So referrals are huge. Always ask. All you got to
Mhm.
do is ask. It's just like upselling. It's like, who else do you know that might need some money that has electronics just sitting around,
Yeah.
right? Navon is actually a great example of this, and I always like to kind of tag him in on this a little bit, is because in the beginning he only did reach outs, but he took the reach outs and the referrals and he basically combined them together.
Yeah.
Um, and he would aggressively ask for referrals. He would pay people $5 extra to post in their family group chat to, try and get more people to sell them devices, and it worked. So take that knowledge, and use it. Because it is powerful. It's very powerful. So and that's the buyback funnel, guys. And then obviously there's a negotiation part of the buyback funnel and all that. We're not going to get into that. I wanted to talk about leads today, because a lot of you guys uh, don't, because leads is the first part,
Hmm.
right? If you're not in contact with enough people per day, you're not going to make money. Like it's just not going to happen.
That's true.
Let's
Yeah.
be real. Like you can be the best negotiator in the world, but if you don't have anybody to talk to, you're going to suck. So, Matt, do you have anything to add to any of that?
Um, I feel like that's pretty comprehensive. Like there's a lot of stuff there, and I think most people just really haven't really tried to think through this, as far as what's the entirety of stuff and places that I could source and get leads and find inventory. Guys, once you solve that mystery, all you've got to be good at beyond that point is just getting stuff sold. Like once you have the product on hand, all you got to do is put it on eBay or sell it to a direct buyer. Boom, there's money, right? Like,
This is
and
actually something we need to go over, actually. Um, I love how you brought this up
yeah,
because this is a problem we actually see in Recelerator that we
yeah,
are we are currently addressing. And luckily the co-working sessions are helping massively with this. Um, is we teach people how to buy devices, right? And how to get enough leads and everything. One problem that we did not see coming was people holding inventory.
truly,
I never thought, because I don't really have that issue. Um,
right,
but I never thought that that would be an issue. So I had somebody earlier actually comment on one of my reels and was like, "Yeah, people being married to their inventory is killing their business."
truly,
And I was like, "Oh, wow. That's so true." Like a lot of you guys probably listening to this, you're married to the inventory that you have for some weird reason, because you're not going to profit as much as you thought. So you're just holding it. Weird, you know?
yeah. Your inventory is not going to keep the lights on. If you sell it, it will. But if it's sitting in a corner and you're playing, Fisher Price Best Buy, like that's not you guys. You don't want to be in that situation. You're not trying to start a death pile. You want a profit pile. Um, and so yeah, you got to get that stuff listed. And so what I tell everybody is everyone loves the treasure hunting aspect of this business. People love to find deals. They like finding out where the deals are. Oh, look what I found, Matt. And they'll send me like a photo, or they'll message Chris, or they'll tag us or something and be like, whoa. And you'll see their haul. I'm impressed by a large sales haul. Like, show me that it's sold. Okay. Because what did Steve Jobs say? It's not real till it ships.
Yeah.
Like, ship it. Ship it. If it's not in a box and it's sitting in the corner, how's that going to cover, I don't know, your kid's tuition or the mortgage or whatever it is you're trying to do? You know, you're not going to leave that 9 to 5 or whatever that a lot of people talk about or make that have that 10K month if you're not equally as aggressive in your selling as you are in your sourcing.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to get the deal. Uh, well, there's two things in this business you got to be really good at, which is assessing value and getting the product. I consider those kind of one thing. And then secondly, getting that stuff sold and out the door.
Yeah. Which we're working on building a more robust way of actually making that happen because that is something that honestly I did not see coming. Um, we fix the problem of getting the things. Um,
Right.
but like I tell a lot of people now is like, and this is part of the buyback funnel too, is like you have to be able to reinvest your profits to buy more stuff,
Yeah.
right? That way you make
Yeah.
more profit. Um, I tell people stay in the buyer's high. Like as soon as you buy something, you get a dopamine hit.
Yep.
And that's a real thing.
Yeah.
So like take the photos right then and there or draft the invoice, right? Like don't send it, but you can draft it. That way it's done,
Yep.
right? Just get the part done. That way it's easy when you get home or whatever. Or just bring it home now like I do and just put it in the light box. If it's in the light box, it's gonna get done for me. I don't know why. That's just figure out what works in your flow, right? Either way, I mean, the way that I used to do it, and I still recommend it, is like if you don't have a light box, you don't need one. Just so you're aware, I haven't had one until 3 months ago. Um, Starbucks has pretty good lighting. Just saying.
Not
Like,
bad.
yeah, I would just as soon as I bought it, bam, listed or drafted the invoice or put it in my like purchased sheet that I could send to my direct buyer. That way it's done. Like the hard part is done. And that way it
Yeah.
doesn't just stack up.
Yeah.
A lot of you guys just let things stack. I remember specifically it was Sean. Was it Sean? I can't remember. Somebody sent a picture of their living room one time, and they're like, "I probably need to sell some things." And it was just stuff everywhere, and I
Yeah.
was just like, "Bro, what is going on here?" Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
sell it, sell
I
it.
think I think to that same point, and Chris and I are kind of really harping on this because we've seen this not for like this isn't like, oh, we've noticed this trend in the last 30 days. It's been like since we started this
Yeah,
with students. And I think that you just got to get your stuff sold, man. Like you've got to get it listed. And if you don't, like maybe lower your expectations. I hate to say that. I hate saying that. I really hate saying that. But like it's one way or the other. Like you're not gonna have 10 and 15K months if you're not selling stuff very aggressively. And you guys would be shocked at the guys that are doing, 8, 10K months at how aggressive they are with moving product on a daily basis. Like think about it. If you do $10,000, you've probably got about $500 in sales coming in and out just about every day.
yeah,
Like that's a considerable amount of product that's going out the door, right? Like, so let me say that. Having said all of what Chris and I have just said, let me also say this. Knowing your numbers is really going to paint a very clear picture for you guys of what it's going to look like to actually reach that real-time goal. Like a real-time goal, right? Not like NFL dreams. I'm talking about like realistic daily, like you're doing this like you're doing this thing. Like you're punching a clock, you're doing this thing. And that's why you got to know your numbers. And that's why I think also it's helpful to have a system that can help you prioritize and organize those numbers. That's what a KPI does. That's what a key performance indicator chart that Chris created does. It helps you put those things in order. And now, how you arrange your stuff in your room is still up to you guys. After you take your flex photo, though, get it listed on eBay so that you
yeah.
can get it sold, make some money.
Get it listed, guys. I mean, I see a lot of you guys like you buy stuff and then you're like, I don't have any money, and but because all your money is in your inventory, and then you try and sell all of it, and you're like, eBay is holding my money again for 3 days. It's like, bro, if you would have just like done it as you bought it, like
Fair.
it would have just been a little bit more consistent, right? So,
Yep.
um, or with direct buyers and all of that. So stay in the buyer's high, sell stuff fast, unless there's like laws or something that say you have to keep it for 2 weeks. You know, like it goes by state, right? So figure that out. But like if you're just like a side hustler or you're under $10,000 in in sales a month,
Mhm.
typically it doesn't matter. Um, you don't really need to. I don't think you need to. I mean, check your stuff, but you can run it in Chat GPT and see what you need to be legit in this business in your state. But overall, sell your stuff faster. Stop like just sitting on it. That's where we see a lot of people fail is like they just run out of money because they bought a bunch of stuff and they didn't sell it. So, and that is part of the buyback funnel is like you know, you need to sell the stuff you buy.
Yeah. So, Chris, let me present a situation or scenario to you. Let's say we got two different resellers, right? And they come to the
Yeah.
table learning this newfound knowledge. One of them's got $1,200, one of them's got $300. They both go out and they're ready, they're itching, just got to scratch that itch and get some product because they want to flip and make that money. Like, what do you think? How would you advise the person with with each of those increments of income? How would you advise them to proceed into their business so as to learn the skill of selling well? Would you say, hey, should I go out and like spend all my money first weekend? Or how should they play it? What would you tell them to do?
Well, it depends on if they have an eBay account or not. We're just going to assume that they do, right?
Sure. Assuming
Um,
they do, yes.
the person with the $300, I'd actually recommend flipping like iPhone 11 through 14 first. And
Hmm.
I would ship that to direct buyers. Like
Hmm.
that way it's like a guaranteed payout fast, right?
Hmm.
Within 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
Um, if they have like $1,200, I would say same thing, iPhone
Hmm.
11 through 14,
Hmm.
um, but also add some game consoles in there, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the Xbox Series S or the Xbox One S, which has been
Hmm.
selling very well.
Yep.
Um, uh, Oculus, um, those have been selling well. Uh, but I would hit the ones that are selling consistently, right? Especially with the gaming consoles because you can easily double your money very
Easy.
fast, easily.
Easy. Yeah.
Um, but with the phones on the front end, I would say I would also do this like for both of them. I would also type in like Facebook Marketplace lot of phones or lot iPhones. All right.
Hmm. Hmm.
LOT lot. Okay. Because there
Hmm.
are people that just have a bunch of stuff.
Hmm.
Um, and they're selling it for cheap, and you can get like sometimes like 20 phones
Yeah.
for like $200.
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes they're iCloud unlocked, and like you can make more money, and like there's been many deals where I've found that are like that,
Yeah.
and they're everywhere too.
Yeah.
Same thing with cameras. There's a lot of that too.
Yeah.
Cameras are very high profit, usually low investment type of
Hmm.
deals.
Hmm.
So if you have an eBay account, that might be worth it to look into.
Yeah. I like it. Um, so guys, like those first few dollars, that's just kind of like a little like that's a microcosm of what it would look like if we were just saying, hey, your next 2 weeks, your next 30 days, here's what you should do. Um, I would also advise like if you say like, oh, I've got a bunch of money, the worst thing you might could do is just go out there and buy a bunch of stuff and then just be stuck with it. I think it's important. We usually try to tell people like slow roll your business at first
Yeah,
because you got to learn the skill of assessing product, negotiating, closing the deal, staging your product so that it does sell well, actually selling it,
yeah,
and then shipping it out. Like there's stages to this that it's not just as simple as like I found a bunch of, great deals and now I'm going to make money. Well, you've got to make the money. That's the
yeah.
thing.
That's the thing. Yep.
And some people are able to do that faster than others, but regardless, guys, the thing we want you to bank on is the skill set that you can acquire from this. And hope you found some nice nuggets in what Chris was sharing there.
Yep. Awesome, guys. Well, stop leaving your business to chance. Build a buyback funnel today.
Yep.
Start building all of that stuff out. If you need help, feel free to reach out to us because this is what we do. We're creating
Yes,
new
sir.
resellers because we're buying from our students. So me and Aaron are always buying phones and things like that from our students. Um, and then also apparently we have a direct buyer now for consoles, so that's fantastic. Uh,
Hey.
that's going to be a community only thing. Um, but with that being said, guys, it's been another episode of the Smart Flip. Thanks for having you guys or coming on. and looking forward to helping you guys crush it. If you decide you want to work with us, um, feel free to check out all of the resources below, the ebook and all of that good stuff.
Yep.
We got some good stuff coming up. So be on the lookout for my emails and stuff. Feel free to join my email thing below. Um, and that being said, guys, you guys have a fantastic day. See you guys next Friday.
See you guys.